God bless you, my brothers and sisters. We are continuing in our 40 Days of Decrease Lenten series. And I want to encourage you to read through the scriptures for today. That is John chapter 18, verses 1 through 11. And today we are fasting from premature resolution. We live in a culture that rushes resolution. We want answers quickly. We want pain explained immediately and uncertainty neatly wrapped up. Process feels inefficient, it's uncomfortable. So, whenever we get the chance, we bypass it. Spiritually, this impatience can masquerade as faith, but in reality, it often reveres fear, fear of tension, fear of ambiguity, or loss of control. But Lent challenges that reflex. It invites us to stay with God longer than is comfortable, trusting that transformation rarely happens on demand. So today confronts the temptation toward premature resolution, the urge to force closure before God has finished his work in us. Premature resolution is the habit of ending the process too soon. It seeks relief rather than transformation, certainty rather than formation. Spiritually, it shows up when we want God to fix what should be formed, resolve what should be endured, or explain what must be lived through. To fast from premature resolution is not to glorify suffering or resist healing. It's to refuse shortcuts that bypass obedience. It's choosing to walk with God through the full arc of obedience rather than rushing to outcomes that spare discomfort but stunt growth. In John 18, Jesus enters the Garden of Gethsemane and he is fully aware of what comes next. There's no confusion on his part. He knows why he's in Gethsemane, he knows what's coming. And when the soldiers arrive to arrest him, tension peaks. The moment demands restraint, but instead Peter reacts. He draws his sword, he strikes the servant of the high priest, cutting off Malchus's ear. And Peter's reaction is understandable. It's decisive, it's passionate, but it's wrong. Jesus immediately stops him and tells him, "Put your sword in its sheath. Shall I not drink the cup that the Father has given me?" Jesus refuses forced resolution. The kingdom will not be advanced through violence or impulse, but through obedience. Peter wanted to end the threat. Jesus was committed to completing the mission. One sought immediate relief, the other trusted the process that God had ordained. Premature resolution often feels holy because it reduces tension quickly, but scripture consistently shows that formation requires time. God works through waiting, wrestling, and obedience that unfolds in stages, but we rush resolution. We may relieve discomfort, but we also interrupt transformation when we rush through it. Jesus does not deny the pain of what lies ahead, but he does escape it, or he does not rather escape it. He doesn't deny it, he doesn't escape it. He submits himself to the Father's will fully, even when that will leads through suffering rather than away from it. Faith in this sense is not choosing the fastest path, but the faithful path. Obedience cannot be rushed. Can't do it. You cannot rush obedience. If you do that, it feels distorted. Premature resolution then offers comfort without formation, but faithful discipleship remains present until God completes his work. Peter, in that moment, wanted the struggle finished. Jesus wanted the Father's will fulfilled. And so Lent teaches us to trust God's timing rather than forcing outcomes that feel safer or quicker. Lent slows us down on purpose. It resists our instinct to tidy up tension and trains us to remain attentive throughout the process. By fasting premature resolution, we practice endurance, patience, and trust that God's work in us unfolds in layers, not shortcuts. This season reminds us that clarity often comes after obedience and not before. So today's fast invites intentional patience. Notice where you might feel pressure to make something end quickly, an emotion, a conflict, a season of uncertainty, and ask whether resolution is being sought for God's glory or for personal relief. Choose to remain with God longer than you would prefer in one unresolved area. Pray without demanding answers. Act without forcing closure. And trust that God is at work even when the outcome is not yet clear. Here are your reflection questions for today as you prepare to pray. Where do I tend to rush resolution instead of trusting God's process? What discomfort am I trying to escape rather than endure faithfully? And how might waiting with God deepen my obedience? Again, I want to encourage you to read through the scriptures for today. That's John chapter 18, verses 1 through 11, and then to take the time to pray. This is a very important lesson today. Premature resolution. We cannot get wrapped up in trying to escape from the uncomfortable moments that we experience with God. So take the time to read through those scriptures today to contextualize the lesson, and then spend your time in prayer as we work through this Lenten season. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.